Joe Nguyen, the online sports producer for the Denver
He
Post.
probably won an Emmy. Did you win an Emmy?
I'm going to put myself in as staff. I think that works.
Well, we will too. We're staff.
Joe is here to talk about what's trending now, things you can find that are hot items at denverpost.com. So what you got?
All right, so the first things first is the NHL got 2 bids for expansion teams, one in Las Vegas, one in Quebec City. So it's been 20 years since there's been a team in Quebec, since, you know, they obviously moved out here to Colorado. But do you think that Las Vegas can sustain a team?
They're building an arena. They are building an arena on the Strip as we speak. And we know that because we were just there this week. I have my doubts, and I have my doubts for a few reasons. Number one, hockey has not done well in warm weather climates. Number two, well, it hasn't.
No, I'm not laughing at that.
The ice melts too easily.
Las Vegas would be considered a warm weather. That's why I laugh.
Number two, a lot of people look at Vegas and say it's now a metropolitan area of 2 million people, which would still make it a very small pro market. And they also say, all the people on the Strip, they're there. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people on the Strip every day, except for one thing. They don't care about the Las Vegas hockey team.
Yeah.
They care about the team back home, the Blackhawks, or they care about their Toronto Maple Leafs or their Boston Bruins. They don't care about the Las Vegas NHL team. So for them to give up a night of gambling and shows and good dinners to go to a hockey game to see the Las Vegas team play, I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to have trouble selling tickets. Now, the casinos are going to spend money on sponsorships. But other than that, I think they're going to have trouble with attendance.
Joe, he's wrong. What the NHL needs, Quebec City I like. I think they deserved it. They probably, you know, I thought it was a good idea that they left Quebec City because they came to Colorado. But Quebec City deserves another chance. It left there because they had been lousy so long and they were just coming around and the people were supportive. In regard to Las Vegas, or Las Vegas, as I call it now, Las Vegas, because he just controls the Strip. The NHL needs some pizzazz. That's not Phoenix. That's not Nashville. That's not Tampa. That's not Charlotte. That's not even Denver. Las Vegas gives the NHL a spritzer it doesn't have. So you're right, but 2 million is what you're talking about. That's more than in Denver, metropolitan, about to say. It's more than...
We've got about 3.2 or 3.3 million in our metro area.
Well, it's close to what Denver has.
Okay.
Well, they have, if you include in Salt Lake City or someplace, Henderson. But I think it goes beyond the size of the city. Quebec City's not that big either. So I think it's, when you say Las Vegas as compared to Phoenix, there's some pizzazz there. I think it's going to be, they can have all-star games there. Teams will like going in there.
Oh, sure.
It's a city that the NHL can promote.
They could hold the draft there.
You said it, the casinos will get involved as they do the fights. There's going to be an environment there that I think is good for the NHL that I don't think is so good for the other sports.
It's a good point. They're going to have to sell it to the local population, though.
Absolutely.
I told you he was wrong, didn't I?
That's a good point. I didn't say you were right.
All right. We also have the Department of Justice today. They finally dropped the rest of their criminal case against Barry Bonds.
I didn't even know they still had one.
Yeah, it's been going on for...
Well, they dropped that other one, I thought. Was that the
few months ago.
lower court that dropped the lying?
Yeah. So basically, this is the one where they're just telling them that, like, we're not going to go to the Supreme Court with this. So that's pretty much it.
Does this mean we don't have to read about it anymore?
I'm pretty sure we
That's
don't.
a good thing.
Yeah.
You or him.
My feeling on that is we know. It doesn't matter. Once they didn't convict him in San Francisco in court, and they reduced all the charges to one, that he lied to the grand jury. I don't really care. He can go through his life. He's never going to get in the Hall of Fame. We have a debate about that. You think he was a Hall of Famer?
I think eventually he will be in.
Maybe when all of us die that are voters, it will be. But you see, it's going to be like Pete Rose. voters like me are not going to ever vote for him. And then when he goes to the senior committee, people in there are not going to vote for PED guys. So but as long as he goes away, he's kind of repairing his reputation, and people in San Francisco
he's trying to repair
like
his
him.
reputation.
Well, he's repairing his reputation in San Francisco. They still like him. That's fine. I mean,
we didn't allow you to ask a question. Was there a specific question? We just kind of jumped in.
Actually, you answered my question right away. It's like we're on the same page.
You got a third one?
I do have a third one. So our own Patrick Saunders talked to Jeff Bridich, and he asked him about like what his plans were for the upcoming trade deadline. Bridich has been very quiet about it. He did say, "My goal is to talk to all 29 teams." Do you think the Rockies are going to do anything?
I actually was standing there while Patrick was talking to Jeff. They don't normally do anything at the trade, at least nothing of great consequence. Believe it or not, they're still trying to figure out if they're buyers or sellers.
Well, they're the third worst team in baseball.
They should be sellers. They should be moving people like De La Rosa, maybe Cargo, maybe John Axford. You know what? The honest answer is I don't know, because this is Jeff Bridich's first year as the general manager, so I really don't know, but they should.
I know, because he's a clone of the last guy they had. He's no different from the last guy. He wants to give him a chance. It's really working out this year. Can't even bring up Jonathan Gray. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to get rid of a few guys. They're going to try and get rid of Troy Hawkins so he can go kind of play for a team at the end. They're going to get rid of Axford. There's interest in him as a closer, and their team's looking for him. I don't think they're going to get rid of De La Rosa, because Dick Monfort loves him and wants to keep him around and make him a Rocky for life, even though he spent 12 years.
Just adopt him.
Yeah.
Instead of
if somebody would take a flyer on Kyle Kindred, they get rid of him, but nobody wants him. There might be some team out there that thinks we need a fifth starter and get him out of, because Jeremy Guthrie, when they got rid of him, he actually went off to Kansas City and was okay. So there might be a little interest in Kyle Kindred. No, they're not going to buy anything. They're not going to trade Tulo. They're not going to trade Cargo. They think that, they're the greatest people in the world. So, if anything, some of their fringe kind of players that have played pretty well this year, I think, if they could get rid of that goof that they brought up again, if somebody was interested in an outfielder.
Drew Stubbs, your favorite guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe I'll make a call to all other 29 teams and say, you want Drew Stubbs?
Fortunately, we don't have to wait that much longer. The trading deadline is a week from Friday, July 31st. So
they're not buyers, though.
I would hope
they're not even going to be involved in a big trade.
Joe, appreciate your time. Nice to have you for the first time. Your debut on the sports show.
My debut?
Yeah.
He's Joe Nguyen.
Come back anytime.
The online sports producer at denverpost.com. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and that segment brought to you by the Harmony Foundation, Colorado's premier treatment program for drug and alcohol addiction. It's located just outside of Estes Park on a private 45-acre mountain campus. They are insurance friendly, so visit harmonyfoundationinc.com.